Tes. Nggak bisa. Selamat pagi. Oke. Normal lah. War horse. Game bagus ya. Kayaknya agak berat atau apa.
God bless. Same to you. Today's a scorcher.
Well, husband, how goes it?
Good. I should get it finished today. Where on earth is Henry? I need him to run some errands.
He was still sleeping when I went out.
At this hour? Blue-blooded idler.
Well, it looks like he was out all evening, drinking like a lord.
Go and get the lazy bones up then. Quick clout round the ear should do it.
Mm-hmm. Henry! Get up now. There's work to be done.
Mother. Get up or I'll come get you up, you slugabed.
Hear that? You'd better not vex him. Now get up quick. Your breakfast is on the table. Wait, what's this? Have you been... Oh, Henry. How many times have I told you about fighting?
Oh, it's nothing. It's just a scratch.
You've been at that sword play again, haven't you? You'd better pray your father doesn't get to hear of it. You know how he feels about it.
Oh, don't worry, it wasn't that. I just scratched myself is all.
Well, just don't come crying to me if you really do get hurt. Now get up, you rogue.
Bagus.
A fine state you're in this morning. What on earth did you get up to last night?
By means of the first two choices in this by oh that's don't know door limitation. Kok mau gerak? Oh, nggak pakai mouse.
I was sweating in the forge all day yesterday, and then I was helping Fritz and Matthew with some errands. So I'd say I have a right to be a bit tired.
Well, I've got a feeling there's something you're not telling me. And it's connected with that scratch on your hand. And that suspicious-looking character with a sword who turned up in town recently.
Lucu juga. What's...
So I'm learning to sword fight.
Ada
What
berapa
of
ya?
it? What harm does it do? At least I'll be able to defend myself.
God above, Hal. You know how your father will react when he finds out.
How? What's he gonna do? I'm doing nothing wrong. I just wanted to try it.
On your own head be it then. I can't stop you, and you can deal with your father on your own. Don't come looking to me for help.
Do you need me to do anything, Ma?
Ah, you're a good lad. But I'm fine. It's your father needs helping with that sword.
Did Matthew and Fritz come looking for me?
No, I haven't seen them this morning. They shouldn't be hard to find. They'll be hanging around a tavern somewhere as usual.
Matthew and Fritz aren't drunkards.
I never said they were, did I? And if I really minded you going for a beer with them, I'd have put a stop to it long ago. I was young once too, you know. And your father was no angel when he was in Cuttenberg.
Nggak
You're not a
silent.
boy anymore, Henry. You're a man, and it's time to start acting like one. Yesterday you promised your father you'd help at the forge. If you made yourself useful now and then, I wouldn't mind your mischief-making so much.
Can I get something to eat?
I left some breakfast on the table. Help yourself.
Is Father angry with me for sleeping late?
He's not happy. Yesterday you promised him you'd help finish that sword for Sir
Ini
Radzik.
apa?
He's not as young as he was. And you know how his joints pain him. He's too proud to complain, but he needs your help, Henry.
I know. Don't worry, Ma. Of course I'll help him.
Good. He always says his knees ache when there's a storm coming. I hope they're wrong this time. It's looking like such a nice day.
Ada fire ini ya, campfire. Cook it. Waduh. Kayak game. Ke game jadul banget. Ada bunyinya lagi. Ambil apa tadi? Wow. Bapaknya di mana ya?
At least you're up, that's a start. Anyway, we've a lot of work to do today. I'm finishing the sword for Sir Radzik, and I need your help.
With what?
Delivery.
I'm running out of charcoal.
Enggak.
Run to the market and buy a bag from the charcoal burner.
Eram
It's
boy.
money. Yeah, that's the other thing. Kunesh still owes me for an axe, a hammer, and the nails I sold him a month ago. Not to mention his debt from before. Go and tell him to pay up, at least for the axe and hammer, and then use the money to buy the charcoal.
Kunesh, that drunkard. That'll be fun.
Well, you're a big lad now. I'm sure you can manage. If not, tell him that next time I'll come myself and personally use that hammer to bang those nails into his arse.
Sure, he'll be happy to hear it. Is that all?
Not quite. The Chamberlain at the castle has the crossguard for Sir Radzig's sword, which I had engraved in Sasau.
You want me to go and pick it up? All right. Money, charcoal, crossguard. Got it.
And ale. Stop off at the tavern on your way home. I know you'll be going there anyway to see that girl of yours. But make sure the ale's still cool from the cellar when you get back.
Her name is Bianca.
Ooh.
Right, so make sure Bianca draws me a nice cool one. Run along now, work won't wait.
Quest log. Result A B C D E. Sword fighting lesson. Kayak dulu ya. Ini apa? Ini apa nih? Sword fighting lesson. Gue bisa lompat kan? Climb mana? Gak bisa climb.
Which king do you mean, Master Tobias? The one sitting in the...
Ini kah? Bukan.
Hey, Pip, do you want to learn something?
No, I don't think so. Thanks.
Suit yourself.
B bukan tuh?
Hail to the hero. So you haven't changed your mind about learning the craft?
Masalah C. Mana orang? Ini kah? Oh, trespassing. Gue tutup lagi dong. Mana nih orang? Ini ya?
God be with you, Kunesh.
What do you want?
Mana?
My father sent me to get the coin you owe him for the axe, hammer, and nails.
I've got nothing. Clear off.
You know you owe father for a lot more than just the axe and hammer. If he went to the bailiff about it, you'd be in deep water. At least pay for the tools if you can't pay for everything.
I told you I have no coin, you bastard. Get the hell out of here, or I'll use the axe on you.
I believe speech. In the middle, right? You look dangerous. Horsemanship, bud. Balap. Karisma sama strength.
Look, I know things aren't easy. Your wife ran off, booze is dear these days, and you're as much used to
Gagal
the
sih kayaknya.
square wheel.
Dia nggak ada
It's no
duit
wonder
juga.
you're short of coin. But a debt's a debt, and I can't leave here without something.
You son of a whore. How dare you speak to me like that? Didn't your thieving father teach you any manners? No? Well, I'll teach you then. Sure. Farewell.
Kunda!
Gimana caranya? Aduh, hindari gimana?
Here! Now. Lost your wind?
Gue nggak tahu caranya. Woi. Dia bisa kalah gua. Waduh.
Is that all you've got?
Wah, kalau dia lebih cepat tonjoknya.
You had it coming,
Ya lihat.
pup. And your old man can fuck off too.
Knock out ya.
How are you, Henry?
Oh. Bonyok nih, Pak. Mau dimakan? Oh, ditekan. Bapaknya tadi mana bapaknya? Tadi tonjok-tonjokan caranya gimana tuh? Ngerti gua. You can stop tuh. Cara ngebloknya? F. Oh, block Q.
About time. Have you got everything I wanted?
When I asked Kunish to pay, he fought me instead.
That bastard. You don't look too bad, though. Did you get the better of him?
I'm
Laporan
fine, but
ini.
he didn't give me the money.
Ah, it doesn't matter. I'll sort him out this evening. I've no time for him now.
But without Kunish's money, I can't buy those other things you wanted.
Here's coin for the charcoal and the ale. I'll get it back from that mongrel this evening.
Oke.
Ma? Ma! I'm hurt. Won't stop bleeding.
Oh, now, stop squealing like a baby and show me that. There you are, good as new. You ought to learn to do that yourself.
Thanks, Ma.
Healer mama. Lihat reputation di mana? Ada reputation loss per orang atau time skip time. Ini apa? Oh ini gua.
God save you. How are you? See you later.
Basket tuh maksud gue disuruh beli berapa sih? 10 ya? Back.
Good luck then.
Bener kan? Oh. Gimana? Oh nggak aku beli.
God be with you.
Oh remove. Salah gue.
Let's have a word about the price.
Sure, why not?
Iya. Oke. Agar gue bacanya.
Are we agreed?
You're right, Pinch Purse. Tough luck.
Reputation loss.
Bye.
Udah punya reputasi lah. Ya kan udah post di X doang. Oke, terus aku mau latihan pedang-pedangan.
Lace, linen, and
Have you recovered from yesterday's great wound?
It was nothing.
Itu ada bonyok.
Except Mother noticed and had a word or two to say about it.
No mother's happy when a son starts to take an interest in swords. Where there's weapons, there's death. The question is...
I don't want to rot in this hole forever. I feel like I don't belong here. I want to live and see the world. But the world's a dangerous place and I need to know how to protect myself.
Spoken like a man. And as it happens, today's your last chance. I have to leave. So, are you ready to get stuck in?
Let's go.
Yes?
All right, I'll wait on the ground by the sheepfold as usual.
Villager. Wah, ada game nih.
Care to try your hand at dice?
Hey, Henry's come to see us.
Take. Your fame precedes you, but you won't get the better of me.
Strong linen, delicate velvet, beautiful and functional.
Terus lanjutin gak? Harus lebih.
Linen fabric, dyed and plain, something for everyone.
Oh, bisa skoran Pak. Cara mainnya gimana sih? Help.
Lace, linen, and silk. Come right up and take some home.
Kok you give up? Reputation gain kalau kalahin. Kalau menang reputation loss gitu ya. Logic.
Implements, instruments.
Ale. Iya. Markernya kecil banget di atas.
You can't be serious, Deutsch. Insulting our king.
What insult? I say only the truth. Sigismund has done only what he had to.
He had to abduct the king. He had to lure his cousin Prokop into a trap and imprison him. He had to invade with his army of Tatars and besiege Kuttenberg.
Why not? What is this Wenceslas for a king? The empire is falling asunder in his hands. The German counts elected Ruprecht of the Palatinate as king because your Wenceslas would not go to their deeds even.
German counts. Traitors.
Now even the Pope
God be with
is
you,
opposed
Henry.
to your king.
I'm with you,
So
Matthew.
are such lords as
What's going on
Henry
here?
of Rosenberg.
Deutsch is spouting shit.
What?
And
Just
Wilhelm
listen and you'll hear for yourself.
Someone has to bring order and reunite the empire.
What do I care about the Austrians? And nowadays, not even the devil himself can keep up with all the popes. Which is the rightful pope? The one in Rome or the one in Avignon?
Do not blaspheme, Alex.
No, it's true, though. Wenceslas is the king of Bohemia. Bohemian nobles are on his side. To hell with Rosenberg and his cabal. Sir Radzik is Wenceslas' commander-in-chief. He stayed loyal to the king. And if he heard you talking like this, he would have you whipped like a dog.
Your Diet will soon have nothing left to rule. Jobst had to sell Luxembourg to help your king. South Bohemia is with Sigismund
and don't forget about Kuttenberg, where Germans like you kissed Sigismund's feet to keep their heads.
Yes, but...
Goodman Deutsch, this is pointless. Let us talk of more pleasant things.
My words exactly.
Deutsch has gone too far. Wenceslas is our rightful king.
Deutsch is an idiot. But what can you do?
I might have an idea. Deutsch deserves to be taught a lesson. Doesn't he, Fritz?
You too are, Matthew. Should give him a proper hiding.
Are you mad? Do you want to end up in the pillory?
Don't listen to Fritz. I've got a better idea. Deutsch was talking such shit, it made me think of that huge parliament. You know, the one right next to his freshly whitewashed house.
You think we should redecorate for him? Count me in.
Well, I'd rather torch it, to be honest. But throwing some turds will do.
What do you say, Henry?
But I was going to get ale for Father and a few other things. We're finishing Sir Radzig's sword.
Come on. Throwing a few handfuls of manure is not going to take all day.
And it's our duty to defend the honor of our king.
So,
Ditolak kan?
Hal, are you with us?
Ditolak. Iya, nggak bisa ditolak.
Not that I don't want to teach the Deutsch a lesson, but I really don't have time.
Well, that's disappointing. Still, we can manage without you. Let's go, lads.
Honestly, Hal, how could you possibly chance like this?
Sorry. Mana sih tempatnya? Gue mau lihat mereka ngapain juga. Mana sih tempatnya?
God save Henry.
God save, my lovely. You're looking well today.
You too, handsome. What brings you here?
You do. Whoa.
Your beauty, of course.
Oh, noble sir. I'm as honored as any simple maid can be. And... should desire.
Itu, sorry.
I need ale for Father.
A pitcher as usual?
Aye. Bring me a cool one from the cellar.
But of course. Here you are.
Thanks.
It's on me today. You can pay me back this evening.
Don't worry, dearest. This evening I'll see you right.
Oh, Hal. I do hope so.
Thanks. You'll have something to look forward to this evening.
You too. Oh, by the way, that shifty-looking fellow was asking after you.
Vaniak?
I suppose. He's a man who makes his coin robbing honest wayfarers. I'm sure of it. I'll be happy when he's gone for good. But what in heaven's name are you up to with him?
He promised to teach me how to use a sword.
What use would that be to you?
Enough. You sound just like Father. I'll be going now. See you this evening.
Hal, I've got something special for you.
Is that so? Now what would that be?
Your favorite, Savior Schnapps.
Really? You're an angel.
I hope you'll thank me properly later.
You bet I will.
Schnapps. Saving the king. Keren. Nge-save-nya nge-drink potion gitu.
Lace, linen, silk. Come right up and take.
Oh. Pedang.
Rags, fabric, brocade, satin. You'll find it all.
Penasaran gue.
I feel a lucky throw coming my way. How about you?
Something for everyone.
Good luck.
So, bring it on.
Cold dye apa nih?
Fabric, thread,
Oh.
buttons, laces. Come, people, come.
Oh bisa gitu?
Linen fabric, dyed and plain. Something for everyone.
This'll be the one.
Boleh berapa kali?
That's all.
Kettles for water, baskets for good,
Hmm.
torches for the night. I have it all. Rags, fabric, brocade, satin. You'll find it all here.
Use your head, man. You'll lose everything.
Makabas. Lama lah. Di sini. Rumputnya bagus. Oh keren.
So, can we get started?
Yes.
We can. Good. And since today's the last time we'll be seeing each other, you can show me everything I've taught you so far.
Apa tuh?
Very well.
Ya,
Let's
pedang
start
beneran.
with
Oh
the
enggak.
basics. Keep moving. Your life depends on it.
Mana ada cara ngarahin?
All right. Now try to hit me. You have to put your weight into your attack. If you just fiddle around, you'll get nowhere. Try slashing from different sides. Unpredictability is the key. Never repeat yourself. Very good. Now you're getting it. All right. Very good. The point of the blade is for stabbing. Try it a few times. Fine. Very good. Good. Once again. Good. Let's try something else. One strike, I can fend off without a sweat. But if you chain your strikes, I'll have a much harder time. As soon as you land one blow, follow it with another.
Saya. Gimana? You can chain strike together into a combo. Strike and you strike as soon as the... At the very moment.
Fine.
Oh. Kanan dulu bisa nggak? Oh bisa. Bisa ya? Oh bisa. Harus kiri kanan dulu. Oh nggak sukses. Oh. Kanan dulu.
Very good.
Oh, bisa juga.
All right, that's enough. I don't know about you, but I'm tired and thirsty. Remember though, train hard. No one becomes a master swordsman overnight. You have to work and work. And the main thing is to use what you've learned in real combat. There's nothing better than experience, believe me.
Jalan pelan minta tahu nggak? Oh gini. Udah. Screenshot. Ntar aja gue.
About time. Have you got everything I wanted?
Not yet. I'm working on it.
Oh yeah.
And how much longer will it take? Get a move on. We have to finish.
No, I don't.
Oh iya, pedang ya.
I'll be with you.
I'm with you, Henry.
How are you?
I've just been to the tavern. The Deutsch was saying all kinds of shit about how Sigismund should be king.
That bastard. One day he'll get his teeth knocked down his throat if he doesn't shut up.
Father sent me. We're forging a sword for Sir Radzig, and the Chamberlain has the crossguard and pommel. Father had them engraved in Sasau.
Right. They're here. The Chamberlain gave them to us for you. We looked them over. Beautiful work. I've never seen anything so fine.
I can't wait to see the sword. Just make sure you don't botch it.
When did I ever botch anything?
Where shall I start?
Ah, shut up and give me what I want, or I'll kick your ass this evening.
Right away, your lordship.
Magnificent. Shame I can't keep the sword for myself. Well, I better go if we're to get the job done by this evening.
Godspeed. See you later in the tavern.
You certainly will. After today's work, the ale might even be on me.
Oh, tadi ada. Hujan tapi baru petir doang.
About time. Have you got everything I wanted?
I have charcoal, the hilt, and the ale. We can start.
Good job. Let's have it then, son. Where have you been with that ale? It's as flat and warm as horse piss. Go back and get me another, and you can pay for it yourself. That's the price of stupidity.
Oh, birnya harusnya terakhir. Oh, dia amat. Mana sih? Diambil tapi diambil sama bapaknya.
Hey!
Strong linen, delicate velvet, beautiful and fashionable.
Mau ngobrol?
My
Well, you're a sight for sore eyes.
I'm back.
I can see that. What's the matter?
I need another pitcher of ale. The last one wasn't cold enough for Father.
You want me to get it for you?
But I still have no money to pay for it.
Honestly, what am I to do with you? Good luck then. Here you are.
Thanks.
It's on me today. You...
Don't worry, dearest.
Oh, huh.
Scarlet to please the ladies in your eyes. Just come right
Berapa kali putusin gue. Wah, habis. Mati gak? Gue kan coba.
About time. Have you got everything I wanted?
I have charcoal, the hilt, and the...
Good job. Well done. Right. Let's see what kind of job the master in Sasau did for us. Look at that, lad. That's what I call craftsmanship.
What does the inscription mean?
Damned if I know. Doesn't look like Czech to me. Latin, maybe? Lord Radzig ordered it. This will be the finest sword I've ever made. We got the charcoal? Good. Then fire up the forge. We'll put it all together. By the way, I heard some gossip about what happened to Deutsch. I expect you know something about it.
Maybe.
Maybe? Someone threw dung at Deutsch's freshly lime-washed house, maybe? And maybe those cronies of yours had something to do with it?
That Deutsch was talking treason in the tavern about Sigismund and the king. He got what he deserved.
Oh, got what he deserved, did he? Look, I don't know if you're mixed up in this or if it's just those friends of yours. It's all the same to me. But I have a trade to run. The German pays well. And having my son in the pillory helps nothing and nobody, least of all the king. Do you understand?
Yes.
Look me in the eye, Henry. Do you understand?
I understand.
Good. Then we'll never have this conversation again.
What, so you think it's right to let traitors speak ill of the king?
Does that boy ever listen to a word I say? So Deutsch spouts rubbish, so what? You might win a fight with violence, but you'll never win an argument. Remember, Henry, if you want to convince someone that they're wrong, try using your mouth, and not your fists.
The furnace is ready.
Right, we'll do the grip. I'll heat it up, and when I take it out, you slip the grip on so it fits exactly. You know what you're doing. Do it. Good. Once more. That's it. Done. Now file it down so it sits well in the hand. I'll prepare the guard.
Father, why did you leave Prague? Who ever heard of a master swordsmith making horseshoes in a village?
I had my reasons, Hal. And here I have your mother and you. Why would I want any other life?
Do you remember Emperor Charles?
I do. Life was good under his reign.
Better than now.
He built half of Prague, and a score of castles, had a bridge made over the Moldau, and founded a university, and all without a war. He knew how to rule.
Better than Wenceslas.
Better by far. But Wenceslas doesn't have it easy. It's hard to step into the shoes of someone whose like is born only once 1,000 years.
What about Sigismund?
Do you think Charles would have brought an army down on his own people like Sigismund? No. Wenceslas may not be the equal of his father, but Sigismund, he brings shame to the royal name. How's it going? Give it here, and we'll put it all together.
Oh.
It's magnificent.
Indeed it is. The Lord be with you. My father sent me for those nails.
Good day to you, Teresa. They're ready. Will you fetch them for me, Hal? They're in the trunk in the living room.
Henry, are you all right?
Living room. Oh. Suara di mana tuh? Jadi kayak ada yang bisa diambil.
God above, have you gone deaf?
Here are those nails you wanted.
Thanks. So, how's Bianca?
She's fine. Why do you ask?
Just wondering, will you be going to the dance this evening?
We will.
Maybe we'll see each other there. Anyway, mustn't keep you. I'll be on my way. That sword is truly beautiful.
Why, man?
Fine lass, eh? Now, stop staring at her and come and see this. It's time for the trial by fire. We did a fine job.
I would expect nothing less from such a renowned swordsmith.
Those days are gone, sir.
You haven't lost your skills, though. Would you like to try it?
Sir, what good is a sword to a commoner?
Let him try it. You still have a lot to learn. Ask your father to show you how. He knows what he's about.
Learning his trade will serve him better in life, sir.
Perhaps. But who knows what the future holds for each of us. I see that you almost have it finished.
It just needs a polish, then Henry will bring it to you.
Excellent. Fine work, very fine. A sword such as this will bring honor to its bearer. What say you, Svan?
True, Sir Radzik. If I'd have had its like back in Nicopolis, things would have worked out differently. How odd to find such an accomplished swordsmith working in a place like this. A man of his talent would have no problem making a fortune in Prague or Vienna.
You're right. It's a very long and peculiar story.
I'd be glad to listen to it over a cup of wine, but duty calls. and
Petirnya
I
deket
must
banget.
leave. Here you are. Learn from your father. He truly is a master of his craft.
I'm sure our paths will cross again.
They certainly will.
Once it's ready, send your son up to me with it. Good work, Martin.
Sure.
It's been an honor, Sir Istvan. Have a safe journey to Sasau.
The honor is mine, Sir Radzik. Thank you for the hospitality.
A long, peculiar history. That was a long time ago. I might tell you about it sometime, but not today.
Will you teach me how to use it like Sir Radzik said?
Why?
Well, it could come in useful. Maybe I'll travel a bit before settling down. I'd like to know more than the tavern on the green and the forge.
You know the trouble with an adventurous life, son? It can end before it gets started. I might teach you how to handle a sword, and then someone will shoot you with a crossbow as soon as you set foot outside the house.
Talk as if you've seen it happen.
A man my age has seen a lot. Being a blacksmith might bring no glory, but it has its benefits, like keeping your head on your shoulders. I want to end my days in Skalitz, here, beneath the linden tree and by your mother's side.
Well, so do I, one day. But first, I'd like to see the world, meet new people.
Meet them or beat them?
Meet. You have to keep going on about it.
Then you've no need to learn swordplay.
A messenger.
He was in a hurry. What's happened?
Apa itu?
Listen to me, Al. Listen carefully. Take the sword, go into the house, and grab anything else important from the trunk. Go to the castle. Hurry.
What about you?
Your mother is in the village. I'll fetch her and we'll follow right behind.
I'll go with you.
No. You'll do what I say right now. Give the sword to Sir Radzik. If anything happens, he'll take care of you. He owes me.
Tadi kan udah gue kosongin itu.
Quickly! We have to close the gates! Move! Come on, we're closing! Move it, people! Come on! We're running out of time! Oh, Henry! Thank God! Get inside, quick! We have to shut the gates! Keep running, people! Come on!
Mind this for me.
Are you mad? You can't go back! Ah! Get through the gates!
Roman ya. Semoga ke orang Jerman.
Come on, Hal! You can still make it! Run! Find a horse! Ride to town, Merc! Tell them what's coming! Warn them!
Run by the moat! There's a path down there! Jump down from the wall and flee!
Berlari.
Pigs! Don't touch me, or I'll kill you! Go to hell, you Tatar beast!
Gue ada pedang gak sih?
Ogląda się na istotę, nie udoszona nira. You'll burn in
Salah.
hell, you animals!
Waduh.
Yeah.
Bahasa apa itu? Oh,
Yeah. Left. Talmberg is to the left, along the stream.
oh ada Archer. Wah. Wah. Isi guys. Kuda bisa lompat gak sih? Ya. Oh bisa. Ya lompatnya gimana? Mati ya?
Ma pokóba végzett!
Aduh, mati gua. Ya. Nyangkut. Gue lihat kemana sih?
Yeah.
Oh, hilang. Oh.
Left. Talmberg is to the left, along the stream.
Ah, ikutin jalan aja. Bahaya. Masa sih? Ini aman. Ada becek-becekan lagi. Conciliation.
Run for it!
Udah dekat aja.
Yeah. Flee!
Bisa nengok ke belakang aja.
Flee!
Enggak, bukan Roman. Maksudnya biasa ke orang Rusia.
Quickly, everyone! Get your asses here!
Hey! And loose!
Hanyo! 호승진네! Quickly! We're closing the gate!
Someone give him a drink. And bring hot wine and bandages. Tell me, boy, who are you and where are you from? What in hell's name happened?
I've come from Scarlets. They burned it to the ground. Slaughtered everyone.
Who? Who burned it to the ground?
A huge army. They attacked without warning. And they weren't Czechs or Germans either.
Who then?
I don't know. I've never seen armor like it or heard their language. Maybe Tatars?
Tartars, you say? Yeah. Well, we'll deal with that later. First, let's have a look at that leg of yours.
I don't know.
Grit your teeth, boy. I'm gonna pull that arrow out.
Yeah!
Easy. All done. You were lucky, lad. The arrow missed the bone. It only needed bandaging, and I've done that often enough before. War is a good teacher. Can you stand? There you go. Good as new.
Thank you.
Have you idlers nothing better to do? Get back to work. You'll have to speak to Lord Divish. Can you manage?
Ada doggy.
Sir, this is a survivor from...
I heard, Robard. Tell me, boy, what exactly happened? Did you see the ensigns of the attackers? And were there any more survivors?
So, I don't know what army it was, but it was huge. There were dozens of banners flying on the hill above Skalitz. The ones who did the slaughtering spoke a strange language. They burned Skalitz to the ground, but a lot of people took refuge in the castle. I wasn't quick enough. And as I fled, they shouted from the battlements that I should come and warn you.
The soldiers the boy didn't recognize. They could be those Cumans of Sigismund's. It said they came to Hungary from the east, and now they're the core of his army. Sacking Kuttenberg must have given him a taste for stolen silver.
Skalitz is a small castle, sir. If Sigismund attacks, they can't hold.
Indeed, Sir Robard. And our small garrison would be no help, even if we could risk sending them.
You think we're next in line?
Maybe. What's your name, boy?
I'm Henry, son of the Skalitz blacksmith.
I know him. Did he make it inside the castle? I'm sorry. It's in God's hands now. No one else can help us. Anyway, thank you for risking your neck to warn us. Robard, take care of Henry. Make sure he gets something to eat and some rest.
Yes, sir.
And get all the people inside the gates. We have to prepare for the worst. Make all the necessary arrangements.
As you command, sir.
Menarik. Jatuh. Oh, udah bisa jalan lagi, bro.
Don't you start. Oh well, I wouldn't mind a bite to eat, actually.
Mana?
I checked and it seems everything's in order.
All right, but buy a couple of kegs of wine when you've done your other chores. Make sure it's good. No slump.
Apa? Kenapa kamu? Dilager. Gak kedekatan apa? Disuruh kemana ya? Ada buku. Kira buku. Kayak main ini ya, Oblivion. Bukan Skyrim. Nggak bisa ngomong sama NPC yang bukan ya.
Must eat.
Mana makanan? Oh, a bit.
You've done well, lad. I'm sorry for your loss. You must be all done in. Why don't you go to the kitchen and have a good meal? Sorrow is easier to bear on a full stomach. I heard about your father. They say he was a swordsmith who moved to the countryside to make horseshoes. But he's a generous man and a good one. We'll take care of you until everything blows over. You risked your life to warn us, and we won't forget it.
Oh, terdengar seperti hero.
Ah, milady. You are fortunate our good lady Stephanie of Talmberg has graced us with her presence.
My lady, I'm honored.
So this is our brave young man. Welcome, lad. Bojena here will take care of you. No doubt you're tired and hungry.
Indeed. How could he not be, poor soul? After everything he's been through, he must be as hungry as a bear, aren't you, young master? Here you are, then. Eat your fill.
And a little wine to wash it down.
Agak chill.
When you're done, you can go and rest with the grooms in the Outer Bailey.
No, that won't do, Sir Robard. After all he's been through, he deserves a proper bed. Let him sleep in a lodge in the courtyard.
Certainly, milady. Young Henry here is overwhelmed by your generosity.
Yes, thank you, my lady. May God reward you for your kindness.
Eat up now. You're in capable hands, so I'll leave you to it. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, man.
When you've done, you can sleep in the bedchamber of the courtyard lodge. And don't forget to take off those filthy boots before getting into bed.
Ngantuk.
Oh, Jesus. I could really do with some sleep.
Oh, terlalu ngantuk. Perut ini kenyangnya yang mana? Oh,
You fled from Skalitz? How did you manage that?
kalau mau ngantuk, astaga. Dangerous. Mana pintunya ke sini? Sekarang jam. Oh, nggak sehat kalau lebih dari 1 jam. Oh ya. Oh iya, gue mau lihat ininya bro. Nourishment.
Today the patrols will be doubled. Keep your eyes peeled. If you see anything out of the ordinary, report it immediately. Understood? Yes, sir.
Yes?
It is I, Henry. Forgive the intrusion. I didn't wake you, boy, did I?
My lady, no, not at all. But what brings you here at this hour?
I thought you could do with a little wine. It's just what you need to help you sleep.
My lady, thank you. You really shouldn't. You could have sent a servant.
I was going to, but to tell you the truth, I couldn't sleep either. I thought of you while saying my prayers. How awful it must have been for you. I came to offer you solace, to let you know you're not alone.
Thank you. Thank you kindly.
You're welcome. Now, Henry, I know this is all very new and strange for you. But I want you to feel at home here. You're not to worry about anything except getting better. God knows you've been through a terrible ordeal. I know what it is to be left alone in the world, although your loss is much greater. But with God's help, the pain will ease in time. And it can help to talk about it, if you feel like it.
Kasih tahu ya.
Oh. You might be right, my lady. I'll tell you what happened. It was terrible and unexpected. The day started just like any other. Father sent me into town on some errands. I went to the tavern to buy ale for Father. I know it's a job for a groom, but I didn't mind, because my girl Bianca worked there. I courted her a while and we agreed to meet in the evening, but our meeting was never to happen.
Oh, dear boy.
When I'd done all the errands, I headed back home. I promised Father I'd help him with his work, and I was looking forward to it. He was forging a sword for Sir Radzig. The sword was taking shape when Sir Radzig himself came to have a look at it. He praised Father's work and said that with his smithing skills, he could easily make a living in Prague or Vienna.
You don't say.
But Sigismund's horde was already on the horizon, ready to attack the town. A horde of soldiers was amassed. Pennants flapped in the wind, the armour glinted in the sunlight, and the horses whinnied impatiently. They were waiting for Sigismund to give the command to attack.
How awful.
And then death descended on Skalitz. The gate to the castle was open. The bells and horns sounded the alarm, and the villagers ran to the castle to take cover. They were carrying the few possessions they could grab in haste, and I saw the terror in their eyes.
I can't even imagine how awful it must have been.
I ran to the castle like our neighbours to take cover, but I didn't make it. I had to find another way to save myself. The men on the battlements called down to me to flee to Talmberg and warn you. I was lucky I knew a concealed path around the castle. I no longer heard any sounds of battle coming from the castle, so Sigismund's army must have regrouped and started preparing for siege.
No doubt you're right.
Then I heard a scream. It was Teresa, the no Welsh. She'd been caught by a gang of Cuman savages who planned to violate her. had Sir Radzig's sword, and even though there were several of them, and they were better armed, I had to try and save her. I wanted there to be at least one person I'd helped, and I succeeded, even though it almost cost me my life. After that, I stole a horse from them and rode off.
Really?
I'll never forget the horror. It will haunt me for the rest of my life.
That's terrible. How could something like that happen?
God alone knows why he lets such things happen.
You poor boy. I understand your grief, but God is not to blame for the ills of this world. That is the work of Satan and those who do his bidding. Those who are corrupted by greed, envy, and pride. You must not lose faith, whatever life brings. Fate has not been merciful to me, and my husband either. Although in comparison to the horrors you went through. I was young when I married my husband. It was my father's wish. Divish was a lot older than I, but a woman must bear her lot. Shortly after our marriage, before I even got a look at Talmberg, the castle was stormed and my husband was imprisoned.
Really?
My husband had some quarrel with Sir Havel Medek of Valdek, who decided to resolve it by force. He stormed the castle, burned down the village of Pribyslavitz, and killed many of our men, even the old chamberlain. He imprisoned my husband in the castle and put his own garrison there.
That's awful.
I was barely 18 years old, and all of a sudden, I was left alone with Sir Robert. We didn't know what to do. We went to Prague to appeal to the king and sought help from Divish's friends, but all to no avail. We tried for years, but it seemed I was destined to be left alone and my husband to rot in jail in his own castle.
Years, you say?
7 years. That's how long it took before Havel was condemned as an enemy of the crown. And even then, he refused to surrender the castle and release my husband. In the end, I raised the money to pay a ransom, and only then, by the grace of Lord Jesus, did I finally lay eyes on my husband once more.
7 years. And was Havel punished for it?
Never. And after 7 years, my husband returned to me an infirm old man.
Sir Divish seems like a good, strong man.
Certainly, only he has many concerns. He had to rebuild Talmberg. After he was released, the king appointed him Burgrave of Prague Castle, and he was very busy. He had no time for me at all. But at least we were in the city, and there was something going on. And now, we're here.
My lady, you're still young and beautiful. Your best years are still ahead of you.
Would that that were true, lad. Would it were true. But what am I doing bothering you with this? You have troubles enough of your own. I'll go and let you sleep.
Makanannya diambil lagi. Belum dimakan.
I enjoyed our little talk, Henry. Good night, and God bless.
Oh,
Good
ketahuan.
night, my lady.
Tidurnya pakai sepatu.
Move it, people! Come on! Come on! We're running out of time! Quickly! We have to close the gates!
Henry, wake up. You don't want to miss this.
What is it? What's happening?
Come to the battlements. One of our patrols reported a company heading here from Skalitz.
Woman. Lucu ya bukunya. Kingnya mana? Apa ada tanggal dia tamatnya 1437. Lama juga. Cuman oke. Lagi hujan kok, like gua pedang ya. Oh. Pedang yang ini.
God be with you.
Do you know what's happening?
No. What about you?
Me? How could
I saw you with Sir Robot. Didn't he tell you anything?
I? No, nothing.
Good luck to you. Watch it. You can't draw your weapon.
Ya kok weaponnya main ke draw aja.
Who's there?
Mario.
Good day to you. What do you need?
Do you know what's happening? Do you know?
Don't ask me. I don't know.
May the Lord watch over you.
Hey, you men down there. Tell the people outside the walls to prepare for attack. Quickly, do you understand?
What's going on?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Why would Sigismund advance on Talmud in the night? Especially...
Maybe it's not him.
Then who is it? The scouts Jim has sent to Skalitz to spy on Sigismund. Said he'd set up camp and was getting ready to storm the castle. And Sir Radzig is an experienced soldier. He'd surely hold the castle for quite some time. It doesn't make sense.
What else did the spies see?
Not much of anything. Before they could get close enough, this huge storm started. And you were right. Sigismund has a hell of a lot of soldiers, including all manner of mercenaries. An army like that costs a fortune. Well, anyway, we'll find out when they get here, won't we?
Aye, we will.
God be with you.
Ya refugee tuh.
Halt! Who goes there?
Lucifer and all his minions. Who else, Rubber?
Sir Ansig. What a relief.
Is his lordship there with you?
Yes, sir. He is right here.
What are you doing up so late, Divish? At your age, you need a good night's sleep.
Well, Radzig, you didn't exactly pick the best time for an outing either. In a big hurry?
It was a bit of a scramble, all right.
Believe it or not, this tempest is a godsend for me and my men. As my old granddad used to say, better a sore throat than a slit throat.
I'd say your grandfather was a wise man. Your messenger told us what happened.
Messenger?
The lad you sent to warn us.
He's alive? He made it to you?
He's here with me. He only got away by the skin of his teeth, though.
Thank God.
A brave young man. But tell me, friend, how on earth did you manage to get away?
Thank God for this tempest. When it began, Sigismund's Tatars crawled into their holes and left the storm into the castle for more clement weather. We were able to sneak out right under their noses. The Lord be praised. We wouldn't have stood a chance against them.
Would you like to spend the night in Talmberg?
No, no. When Sigismund finds the castle empty tomorrow, he might come looking for us. We'd only be exposing you to danger. Without me and my men, he has no call to attack you.
What will you do then?
We'll march to Ratai. It's only a short way, and there we'll have a better chance of defense and enough room for all of these people. If Sigismund should come, better bend your knee, Divish. There's no point dying in a battle that's futile.
You're right there.
Is that boy still with you?
I'm here, sir.
You have courage, lad. That I can't deny. I am sorry about what happened. Would you care to join us?
I'd like to, sir, but first I have to return to Skalitz.
Are you mad? What do you want there?
I can't leave my mother and father. I won't leave their corpses rotting in the street. I'll join you once I've taken care of them.
Don't even think of going back there, you donkey. Are you tired of living?
Dedikasi tuh.
I'm sorry about your father, but getting killed as well won't help him. Divish, make sure that lad doesn't budge from Talmberg until things quieten down.
Not to worry, friend. Anyway, he's injured and needs to recover. I'll lock him up here as if he were Havel of Baldic.
I've seen you've grown a thick skin since your tribulation, sir. But thank you. We'll meet again when circumstances are more favorable. Farewell.
Farewell, friend, and good fortune. Give my regards to Sir Hanush.
I will. And good luck to you and your people, too. These are dark times. Move out! Anywhere, people! Move out!
Keren. Tapi emang torch kalau hujan masih bisa. Lagi hujan juga lagi di luar. Terus banget.
Men, tonight we'll have triple patrols. Sort out the watches between you as always. And if I catch anyone boozing, playing dice or slacking off, I'll personally break every bone in his body. I want you to keep a close eye on everything nearby. Sigismund will surely have sent spies, and likely men as well, to follow the Skalitz people. Now he knows they've fled. Keep your eyes peeled, and report everything to me at once. Understood?
AI-nya agak bagus ekspresinya. Bagus.
Henry, I need to have a word with you.
What is it you need?
I could use an extra pair of eyes, and yours are keen. Will you keep watch on the battlements with my men?
Is that a request or an order?
I'd rather it was a request you answered yes to.
Of course I'll help. I'll have to pay you back somehow after all you've done for me.
Splendid. And don't worry, I'll tell the men to relieve you later. May the Lord watch over you.
Aku cuma sendiri. Orang lagi sakit juga. Gak begitu kelihatan ini.
Wandering around like a stray sheep. Must be. I don't think anything much will be happening today. You can just lean against the wall.
I will.
Mau lihat.
Let's go! Let's go! Move it! Quick! Go! Go!
Wah, banyak banget.
We're gonna end up like skeletons.
See how the self-appointed king wins the love and respect of his loyal subjects.
Indeed, Robard. Sigismund of Luxembourg has a rare talent for winning people over to his cause. We may be in for a surprise, though. I don't think he will set his heathen dogs on us today.
Greetings, Lord of Talmberg.
That's the bastard who led the attack at Scarlet and killed my parents.
Don't be an idiot. Do you want to end up like them?
I am Sir Markwart von Aulitz. I come in the name of Sigismund of Luxembourg, King of Hungary and Croatia, who has resolved to strike against those who disrupt concord in the land and to restore order in the name of his brother, King Wenceslaus IV.
Restore order by burning and pillaging the king's estates.
Greetings, Sir Markwart. The efforts of the king's brother to bring order to this chaotic land are undoubtedly noble. It seems to me, though, that he and his army have somewhat strayed. As Burgrave of Prague Castle, I am entirely beholden to the king, and here in Talmberg divine peace reigned until your arrival. To what then do we owe the honor of your visit?
Yesterday, His Majesty took action against the enemy of the kingdom, Sir Radzig Kobyla, who has been using the silver from the Skalitz mine to fund insurrection against the crown. Unfortunately, the insurgent escaped. Would you happen to know, noble sir, where he might be at this time?
As far as I know, the Sir Radzig of which you speak is the king's hetman at Skalitz. I find it hard to imagine that he would rebel against our king. Nevertheless, I can assure you that Sir Radzig is not at Talmberg. He would be a fool indeed to flee from one castle where he has little chance of defense to another where he has even less. Or do you take the view that my humble manner is any obstacle to your army?
Am I to inform the king then that Sir Radzig Kobyla is not at Talmberg and that he has your loyalty?
That's a threat.
Sir Radzig Kobyla is not here, and I have no intentions of getting embroiled in affairs from which I have nothing to gain.
Very well, sir. As you wish. I will relay your words to the king in the hope he will be as well disposed as you seem to be.
Those who have clean consciences and goodwill may find themselves well disposed even at moments like this, when there is little cause for joy. Farewell, sir.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Terang nggak? Nggak tahu. Oh, itu apa? Muter.
My lord, you have my utmost admiration.
Get on with you, Robard.
Tau-taunya circling.
Jesus Christ be praised.
What happened in Kuttenberg?
Gutenberg. Well, I'm just... But the good Lord gave me ears, and I've heard some things from Sir Divish.
Were there many?
Indeed. But it was the Kuttenberg mercenaries who came to see me.
I see.
Listen, lad. These are all games of the high aristocracy. In Prague, a cabal of nobles rebelled against King Wenceslas, wealthy aristocrats who took against our king for reasons of their own. There's no doubt Sigismund had his fingers in the whole affair. Him and Wenceslas's cousin, Jobs.
So then why did Sigismund attack Kuttenberg?
Why do you think?
I suppose because it has a strategic position and good fortifications, so it can be used as a base for raids, giving you control of the whole territory and good defences too, if you need them.
Not at all. King Charles, may God grant him eternal glory, built Prague into a proper royal city, while King Wenceslas took a liking to Kuttenberg. After Prague, it's the most important city in Bohemia, in the entire Holy Roman Empire. He who commands the Kuttenberg silver is king.
So Kuttenberg sided with Wenceslas because he favoured it?
Now you're starting to understand. When Sigismund imprisoned Wenceslas and took control of Prague, the people of Kuttenberg began to raise an army against him. So with the attack on Kuttenberg, Sigismund killed two birds with one stone. He defeated Wenceslas's most powerful allies before they could stand against him, and also gained immense wealth.
So Robard, I need to get to Skalitz.
What would you do there, lad? Sigismund might have left, but the place will be swamped with robber barons, brigands, deserters, and other vermin. And anyway, your lord commanded you to stay here.
My parents died there, and I won't leave them to be ravaged by dogs. I have to bury them.
Good God, boy. Do you want to throw your life away for those who can never get theirs back? Do you think that's what they'd want? Forget it.
God be with you.
Gue cabut tuh gimana?
Why did Sigismund burn down Skalitz and then come here too?
That's war for you, lad. Certain lords have resolved to take things into their own hands and eliminate anyone who doesn't share their view. Unfortunately, Sir Radzig is one of those. And what's more, he was sitting on a pile of silver that could help King Wenceslas's allies.
Where did these humans come from anyway?
I don't know much about them, only what the Chamberlain said. That they came to Hungary from the east and settled there. They're godless barbarians and merciless fighters. The nobles used to say the Hungarian king shouldn't enlist them, because they dishonor our rules of warfare. And believe me, it's all...
Stop working yourself up. Everything's fine, and that's how it'll stay.
Fine, but...
No buts. Everything...
Sekarang ngapain nggak ada quest? Oh. Get a horse. Get out of the... Bisa nih keluar dari sana. Wait. Mundurnya gimana ya? Nyangkut. Gamenya rusak. Aduh. Kudanya nggak mau mundur ya? Gue turunnya gimana? Ya ampun. Cara turun dari kuda. X kah? Lihat. Nggak turun dia dari kuda. Nyangkut sekarang gue di sini. Ah. Nyangkut. Coba. Gue tunggu sejam dah. Masih nyangkut. Mana caranya? Kontrol turun dari kuda. Dismount. Gak ada. Tolong. Kudanya udah nyangkut di situ. Bentar. Kok nggak bisa? Oh. Ya. Ngebuk.
God be with you.
What happened?
Gutenberg, but the good...
Were there many? I see.
Listen, lad.
So then why did...
Why do you...
So...
Correct.
So could...
Now you're starting to understand.
So Robard...
What would you do there, lad?
So Robard, my parents died there. I can't leave them to be eaten by dogs. What would you do in my place?
Sorry, lad.
Yang
I won't
mana
take
ini?
orders. You'll have to wait until everything settles down, and maybe your lord will change his mind.
God be with you.
Huh?
Nggak bisa.
Oh.
Why did Sig... Where did the...
And believe me...
For harvest, and now we've armies invading and pillaging.
Nggak bisa mundur ya kuda. Oh, malah naik lagi sekarang. Sekarang ngeluarin kuda ini gimana ya? Sesat. Kudanya nggak bisa mundur. Diputer malah naik.
Good health, you.
Why did... What happened?
Gutenberg, but...
With them... I see. So then why...
Why do you...
So couldn't...
No.
Where did... So Robard...
What would...
Never mind.
Farewell.
Ngobrol sama villager.
Good God.
Is there someone here who trades in...
Try Votiva. He's as thin as a starving. Good luck then.
Then it's better to have Wenceslas.
Damn.
Sekarang gue udah bisa ngobrol sama NPC. Sekarang ngeluarinnya gimana ya? Nggak bisa ditonjok. Nggak bisa di-spawn. Udah dinaikin. Oh bisa. Jadi dia agak naik kayaknya.
home now and slaughter us all.
They won't come back.
Keluar dari mana ya? Itu dia. Mana trader? Oh, di sebelah sana.
What? Vashek? You must be pulling my
It's
pizzle.
terrible
There
what's
isn't a
going on
woman
in our
round
land.
here who's
Oh ya?
Everything points to it, can't
She
you
don't
see?
live in the village.
Nah, trader di mana ini? Oh ini.
Good health to you.
Can we trade?
If you've got the coin, good luck to you.
Duit gue mana? Gak punya duit. Oh ya. Barang-barang. Oh enggak deh. Harganya. Ini buy kan. Dan 6. Boleh tuh. Lockpick.
Can we trade?
If you've got the coin, may the Lord watch over you.
Nggak cukup duit. Mahal ya. Mahal juga lockpick.
God be with you.
I need to get out of here.
And I need a feather bed with a comely wench in it. But it looks like we'll both be disappointed. Sir Divish gave orders not to open the gate, and you especially are not to be let out.
My mother and father were left in Skalitz like carrion. I have to bury them.
I'm sorry, my friend, but I can't. You'll have to persuade Sir Robard, or think something up so I don't end up in the shit for it. Otherwise, forget it.
What am I supposed to think up?
How should I know? Maybe some disguise so I could say I didn't recognize you? If a Talmberg soldier turns up all kitted out properly, in armor and a helmet, then of course I let him go. That's obvious.
All right, I'll have a look around for something.
Farewell.
Gua ngeliat airnya goyang nggak begitu kelihatan. Oh, mahal lockpick. Malah makin susah.
Hey, who's there?
Orang ya. Itu bow kan? Kok nggak bisa diambil? Mana armor? Harus beli lockpick dulu.
Can we trade?
If you've got the coin. Take care now.
Gue harus jual baju sih. Gue jual buat nge-save.
Can we trade?
If you've got the coin. I'll be with you.
Ini bisa di tengah save game terus buat apa tadi? Itemnya. Kalau ini gue nge-save game. Bedanya pakai item apa? Oh. auto kepake. Jadi kan gue punya kalau ada 6, oh iya. Wow. Mana sih? Oh. You have to use lock key to turn the Oh, gue harus ngikut. Oh. Enggak. Hilang. Wah. Hal ini mau ngelockpick aja. Awan gak ada.
What was that noise?
Udah dapet nih. Oh enggak, questnya update-nya gitu sih. Kita ada. Kalau masuk site. Keren kakinya. Gua nggak dapet yang gitu.
Good health to you.
I need to get out of here.
Then I'm afraid you're out of luck. Ah, I see. All right then. But if you breathe a word about me to anyone, may the Lord watch over you.
Ayo gimana? Bukain dong, Mas. Agak. Nah, harus bawa kuda. Ada apa tadi? Mapnya nggak begitu gede. Gede deng. Bisa ini kan? Fast travel. Mau fast travel aja. Travel naik kuda bisa nggak? Kenapa? Why not? Oh nggak boleh. Terus ada event gitu ya.
Yeah. You'll have to wait for me here, friend. Better to keep going on my own. It's like they've already gone.
Aku turun dulu bener. Menarik. I'm back. Coming. Arrow kalau udah satu dipakai bisa diambil lagi ya. Ngomong kok pedang gue hilang ya. Oh, ini dia. Oh, ini quest item. Wah, ke equip. Wah. Sekarang equip itu mah. Gak bisa dipaut. Oh, gue cara. Sekarang equip. Oh, satu. Dua. Gue delete ya. Ini apa? Restless.
Hey, who's there? What's going on?
Ya. Ada aja. Ininya nih. Waduh.
Jesus Christ! Alle dopperdellen!
You're not going anywhere, are you? Leave your weapon on the ground and get lost.
Very well.
Mana nggak bisa diambil loh. Kayak. Ini enggak? Oh, ada durability. Itu mau nyari arrow gue yang tadi gue main tembak-tembak aja gara-gara. Oh, ini banyak arrow tuh. Nah. Mau arrow. Oh, ini udah deket. Banyak ikan juga. Ada bukan ikan. Lootnya nggak begitu ini.
Sweet Jesus. It's the charcoal burner.
Arrow-nya cuma satu. Kayaknya nggak bisa di-loot ya kalau udah kena orang. Harus banget apa?
Hey! Why would anyone do this? What did these poor souls ever do to them?
Harusnya warganya nggak di.
What's going on there? What's that? Answer to my prayers. Just when I wanted to vent my rage.
Get going then. But leave that weapon right where it is.
If you insist.
Nggak bisa di-loot. Terasa. Plating. Apa? You've reached a level in main level. Itu apa tuh? Main level. Gue nggak bisa naikin apa-apa ya? Oh, bisa naikin juga. Ini apa? Mainly odor. When dirty. Talking out. Tahun ke? Ada pro dan kontra ya. Enggak, ini enggak. Bisa diambil yang ada bintang. Light distance of fast travel. Combat. Oh, ini cuma ngebuka ini. Ambil. Oh, ini. Di sini. Dari mana? Ya lagi. Oh, banyak juga. Nanti bisa dipilih lagi nggak sih? Kayak buat nge-carry ini. Oh, banyak juga. Mantap. Masuk aja dong. Wow. Oh, demi apa? Oh, bisa diambil lagi ya?
Hey, who's there? Who's there?
What do you think I am?
Not here.
Go. And don't ever come back.
Yes, God bless you.
He didn't run like me. He died with a sword in his hand.
Dual wielding nih.
You stood by his side when he did this to you. In the end, you weren't there. You didn't run away. You didn't abandon him like me.
Banyak banget yang ada.
Just wait a moment. I'll take care of my parents, and then I'll come back for you. I won't leave you like this. Why did you do it to me, Father? Why? Why did you leave me? Forgive me. Forgive me for everything. Next time I won't run. I'll never run away again. I'll find the one who did this to you. I remember his face. I'll find him. But first, I have to find a shovel and take care of you. I remember you told me you wanted to lie beside Mother. Here. Under the linden tree. At least I can do that much for you.
Anjing. Mana tuh anjing? Mana? Ada orang ah. Habis.
Get away, you mutt! Get away, you beast!
What's going on? Bishop? What in God's name are you doing?
What do you think I'm doing? Digging turnips? The beast just went for me.
Isn't that Mutt the butcher's? Mutt? Isn't that body the butcher's?
Yeah, that's him. What's that got to do with anything?
I'd say the poor creature is standing guard over his master. You weren't trying to get to him, were you?
What do you care what I'm doing here? What are you doing?
Came to bury my parents.
So bury them and leave me be.
Would you lend me that spade? I have to dig a grave and I can't find another.
What's it worth to you? I see you have a fine sword. I'll gladly...
My father forged it for Sir Radzig. It's my duty to deliver it to him. It's not for sale.
Go right ahead and dig that grave with your sword. See how that goes. And where will you dig it anyway? Here?
You know, you're an unbelievable piece of shit.
Bener-bener so. Kok gua agak suka kalau tonjok-tonjokan dah. Gak ngerti gua.
Go ahead and... Yeah! God damn!
Belakang gua apa deh?
Oh dear, did that hurt? All right, now you're dead.
Nggak ngerti gua. Kalau tonjok-tonjokan.
Au.
Bakalan lama ini kayaknya.
Come and get it. Fucker! Yeah!
That's right. Turn tail and run, you bastard. Easy there, boy. You know me. Your good master won't be leaving this.
Mana tadi orangnya? Banyak aja. Kalau gua ambil dia ngamuk nggak? Oh enggak. Ikan juga bisa nggak sih? Gue drop gitu. Oh, nggak mau aja.
You're gonna like it.
So, let's get to it. Damn it all. How am I going to do this?
Do you need some help? Is that him?
Yes. Can't you see the sword?
Who are you? What do you want?
Zbyszek?
Who do you think we are? Franciscan brothers? We're here to rob you of everything you've got. Especially that fine blade that's of no use to a peasant like you anyway.
Banish the thought. It is my father's sword.
You mean him? I don't think he's going to be needing it. Listen here, boy. You hand over that sword, I might just let you go. If not, you're in for a family reunion you really don't want.
Leave me alone.
Kill him, Runt! Aye, cut the bastard down.
As you like. Could have just cost you a few teeth.
Kalau satu doang sih kayak nggak apa-apa, tapi banyak banget. Ngalat banget. Sakit banget.
I told you how it would end. You should have listened to me.
Mati gua.
This is
Udah main
nice
kesambar
work.
petir aja.
The chief is going to like it. It's new, isn't it? Now, for the maiden bloodletting. Surely your father never would have imagined it would be your blood.
Apa gue dapet ending yang
I believe
lain?
there's a word for such moments. The old man would certainly know. But I'm just a common killer. Did you help make it? No doubt you did. Such miserable luck. To die by the sword you helped forge.
Hey, go fuckers! The games are over.
Ya. Masih epilog. Mana nih?
Nicak, mi budak.
Lagi gua. Lagi mana tadi orangnya?
Do you need some help?
Henry! There's work to be done. Wake up, Henry. It's past sunrise.
Henry, can you hear me?
Get up, Henry. Wake up. It's a new day.
Henry, can you hear me? Hallelujah. I thought you'd never wake. Were you having a nightmare?
Teresa?
You still have a fever. Uncle won't be pleased, but you'll have to stay in bed.
Where am I? In Skalitz?
We're at my uncle's mill in Rattay. I didn't know where else to go.
What happened?
You don't remember anything? I suppose that's not surprising. I found you in Skalitz after those bandits attacked you. I thought they'd done for you, but you were still breathing. Why in heaven's name did you go back there? It was madness. They slaughtered everyone who didn't run.
My parents, I wanted to bury them. I had to...
Don't worry. I took care of it.
Thank you.
Any good Christian would have done the same. Now sleep. You need your strength back. You're awake.
Good morning.
It's near midnight. You've slept all day.
Oh. Oh, I feel like a horse fell on me.
The beating you took was worse. But at least the fever's broken.
What in the world were you doing in Skalitz?
Waiting to die.
What?
They killed my brothers, my family, my friends.
They're all dead.
All of them. Everyone I ever loved. They killed one of my brothers in the mines. After that, what did I have to live for?
Don't say that. There's always hope.
No, there isn't. But it doesn't matter. I'm a different person now.
How did you manage to save me?
You were lucky. I was in Skalitz and I saw Zbyszek and his thugs. I tried to distract them, but it would have been no use if those soldiers from Tamburg hadn't arrived. They were searching for you and scattered the bandits.
Searching for me?
Yes. Lord Divish sent them, led by Captain Robard. So tell me, why is a lord of such high standing interested in a blacksmith?
Sir Divish promised Sir Radzig he'd look after me. But as for why they should care, I've no idea. Oh, I'm exhausted.
I'm not surprised. I'll bring you water and something to eat. In the meantime, rest. You're still very weak. Good morning to you. How's the invalid today?
Invalid? Ugh, haven't felt as good as this since they lashed me to the wheel and quartered me on the town square.
Got your sense of humour back. You must be better. My uncle will be glad to hear it. I had a job persuading him to let me bring you here. If you'd lain around much longer, he really would have dumped you on the town square. You can stay until you find somewhere else to live, but my uncle will want payment for taking you in and caring for you.
And this is your uncle's house?
We're in Ratay Mill. My uncle's miller Peshek. He took me in, and I talked him into taking care of you too.
I've been lying here long enough.
Uncle will be pleased he's one mouth less to feed. But are you truly well enough?
Well enough to do what has to be done. Where can I find Sir Radzig?
He's in the lower castle in Perkstein. He's a guest of Sir Hanush of Leipa. But someone like you can't just walk up bold as you please and demand an audience.
I know Sir Radzig, and I didn't bring him his sword as I was supposed to. I must see him.
If you insist. But you need to speak to my uncle first. You've been in your sickbed for over a fortnight while he paid the apothecary to tend to you, and for medicine. That's a good deal of a coin you owe him.
I've been lying here 2 weeks. My God.
Better a fortnight in bed than an eternity in the grave. If it weren't for my uncle, you wouldn't be here at all.
Fine. But right now, I have more important things to do.
Yeah.
That's all you have to say? After everything we've done for you? Well, do as you see fit.
Kan mau bayar utang. Treasure of the stock.
A word with you, young fellow.
Bentar, Pak. Mandi dulu. Mana kamar mandinya? Anjingnya.
Hey, youngster, come here.
Bentar, Pak. Duitku hilang semua. Di mana? Oh, beda lagi, Mak. Wah, jauh juga. Bisa ini sih fast travel. Mandinya di mana? Mau tahu ah. Orang darahnya. Mau mandi. Oh, fokusnya gitu ya, keren ya, kayak orang melihat beneran. Tadi gelap pas agak lama, jadi agak terang gitu. Keren. Nah, tadi sih.
My name's Henry. Thank you for taking care of me here.
My name's Peshek, and I'm the miller here. You've already met my niece, Teresa. She took care of you for 2 whole weeks while you were in limbo. And talking of you being at death's door, while you were lying here, you worked up quite a bill with the bloodletter, who came now and again to keep you alive with his potions. That quack doesn't come cheap. I paid him what I could, but I still, that is, you still owe him.
I see. Well, it's better to be in debt than to lie dead in a ditch. What do I owe? I'm not afraid of hard work.
You won't pay for that shoveling manure. I might have a better job for you. And it's not something any fool can do. If you prove to me you're a clever lad, I might trust you with something you could really make money from. What do you say?
Well, what would you need from me?
A trifle. Just to take something from someone and bring it to someone else. And not get caught while you're doing it.
That sounds straightforward enough. Except for not get caught. Why would anyone want to catch me?
Oh, don't worry. It's just a job like any other. Only this one requires, let's say, the right moral disposition. Do corpses bother you?
No honourable man should touch them. That's the executioner's job.
Did you expect I'd give you a hoe and send you out to the fields? You can dig all right, but somewhere else. I want to know whether you're going to hide behind some stupid fucking scruples, or if you might be useful for more unconventional work.
I was prepared for just about anything, but that's a bit much. But go on. Tell me more.
Listen, it's about this ring my mate Wojciech, the Kohelnitz miller, had his eye on. Trouble is, they buried the ring by the gibbet along with the villain they hung while he was wearing it.
Jesus Christ. You want me to dig up a corpse, take a ring from it, and give it to your friend in Kohelnitz? Is nothing sacred to you?
Money first, morals later. That fellow is dead. He won't miss it. Whatever bleeding heart came up with the idea that it's disrespectful to disturb a corpse never read the Bible. Still a human body, only it's missing a soul. Why be disgusted by something created by God?
I think I've already heard more than I need to know. You've got the tongue of the devil himself. If you tried hard enough, I bet you could justify sodomy with a goat.
Watch your mouth, boy. There's a shovel here around the mill somewhere. If there's any problem, come and see me. And here's something on the side to make you dig better.
Thanks. I'll need it. I can't believe I've come to this. Digging up corpses.
Oh, and watch out for the executioner and his hounds. They're pretty savage. And I don't just mean the dogs. You can just throw them some meat. The dogs, that is. But the executioner? Well, don't vex him. Good luck to you.
Dia ngasih gue spade. Mau mandi. Pintunya mana? Oh enggak.
I could do with a bite to eat.
Ada yang bisa diulut.
Have you eaten yet?
Yes, it was very good. Did you bake it yourself?
I did. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Henry, I'm so...
What's that dog you have here? He looks familiar.
Don't you remember him? It's Mart, the butcher's dog from Skalitz.
Ah, of course. When I went back to bury my parents, he was guarding his master's dead body. A faithful dog. How come he's here?
When we carted you here, we took Mutt along too. He's been hanging around the mill ever since.
What does the miller have to say about it?
He can't stand him.
How's that?
Every time he sees him, he starts shouting that he's a useless mouth to feed and that he'll skin him.
Jesus.
And it didn't even soften his heart when Mutt brought a hare from the woods. He was happy to eat it, but it didn't change his mind.
I could have a word with him.
That would be a waste of time.
How's he doing?
A lot better now. I slipped him something good now and again when Uncle wasn't looking.
He won't starve to death then. Does he obey you?
Me? Not much. He's got a mind of his own, and I'm just not strict enough.
Ah, spoilt then.
No, he just hasn't learned many commands. But he's well able to beg for a piece of meat.
How long has he been with you?
More or less since we came here. He runs off now and again, but he always comes back. Sometimes I don't see him all day. I think he likes to go wandering.
So he's doing quite well then?
Yeah. I'd keep him, but he reminds me too much of Tinker, you know? I don't want to think about Skalitz. So I thought maybe you might take him with you?
Me?
I'm sure the two of you would get on great. He's a handsome fella and lovable. I'd be very happy if you had him.
But we never had a dog at the smithy. We never needed one.
Come on. He's got no one.
All right. I'll take him. He can keep me company on my travels.
Thanks, Henry. Go and get him then. He's sniffing around somewhere here.
Oh, ini bareng-bareng gue. Biar agak berat. Harganya mahal juga. 142. Harga jual di gua. Itu mana? Dapat gak?
Where can I find a shovel?
There's one right outside, leaning against the cart. Farewell.
Oh.
Try unlocking this trunk. Hold the lockpick in your right hand and use it to feel out the tumbler. In your left hand, you hold the... Got it? Good. Now turn the whole lock to the blade, but don't stop holding the tumbler with the pick. Otherwise, you'll be fucked and you'll have to start all over. You're a dab hand, Hal. Make something out of you yet. Remember,
Hey, Mutt.
this trunk...
Ya ampun, Mat. Gue lagi ini aja.
Scarlet, you wanna go with me? We'll get on like a... Follow me.
Di mana fotonya?
What else you, sir?
What kind of governor is Sir Hanush?
Sir Hanush is a good lord. Things won't be the same. God be with you.
God be with you.
Can you tell me... What about the Scalets?
God sent them to punish us for our sins. They don't work.
What do you think about everything that's happened?
I don't concern myself with the doings of my betters. I don't give a damn who's king, but...
Do you know anything about those
the heathen scum that Sigismund brought here? Why do you even ask? You've seen with your own two eyes.
That's all.
God be with you.
Jadi di mana katanya? Ya. Ya. Mana sih? Oh, agak susah sih. Posisinya di ini. Oh.